Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back. So we wanted to talk to you today about another house which we love. We've tried a few things from this house, haven't we, over the years?
We have, yes.
I am ashamed to say I still don't own anything from this house. I'm an absolute arsehole because they're so fantastic. But I will be. Dan, you have some surprises for me, don't you? Some new, new blind smells for me.
The house of Francesca Bianchi. We have two fragrances to smell. One is the Black Knight. The other one is Lost in Heaven. Francesca sent these to us, so thank you very much.
Yes.
So I've had them for a little bit of time. Joe hasn't.
I've never tried these at all.
So, do you want to try them on card or skin?
Well, I reckon a bit of skin.
Yeah?
I mean, I've only got one hand free because this hand has something else on.
We can do a hand each.
Well, let's do. Oh yes, so that's the empty hand.
This is empty hand.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Which I think is the Japanese for karate. Interestingly.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, good knowledge. So this is...
Okay, I'm not going to say anything.
This is the Black Knight. I'm just going to check. So I think this is inspired by the character Giovanni della Banda Nera, which I guess means John of the Black Band, and is supposed to recreate the fascinating atmosphere of a military camp. And you get, I haven't smelled it up close, but you get a big, strong, dark waft.
I mean, that's fantastic.
Oh, this is
that's
big
really epic.
And dark and rich. And my wife is a big fan of big, dark fragrances, and I often spray things to her, and she's like, meh, that's not so great. And I sprayed this to her, and she's like, wow, this is impressive. So I get... This big, dark, rich, resinous quality. I also, near the beginning, I get this, what I now say is a kind of familiar Bianchi DNA of that kind of orosy leather quality.
Oris paper cardboard I'm getting.
Yeah. This kind of dark, leathery.
Sort of damp paint aspect as well.
A little bit.
Which is something I absolutely love.
Oh, but it's so... when you first spray it, it's almost impenetrably dark.
Yeah.
It's so kind of rich.
But there's even a hint of something poking its head out now, like a sort of slight, not sweet, but like a little friendly face poking its head around the corner, like a sort of like toffee or something. It's not sweet though, I can't explain it.
There's a slightly honeyed kind of resonance round quality.
If honey was savoury, it would have that. I mean, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
The kind of stickiness and the resinous, but without the sweetness.
Yeah. This is amazing. But what?
I'm getting like a leather cardboard.
But what if the way we are talking about this fragrance, you could think it's brash or cloying, but it doesn't. It doesn't feel harsh or overwhelming, even though it's big. It somehow feels very smooth, and it's really smooth. It doesn't feel like it's hard and blunt at all, I don't think.
To me, if you could turn leather, if you could make a creamy smoothie of leather and like magazine paper, cardboard, iris, it's that.
Yeah.
I mean, this to me is what what's the leather fragrance from Hermes, which I love.
Equipage.
No, Cuir d'Ange.
Oh, okay.
I love that stuff, but it goes a little bit too cloyingly sweet. This is what that could have been for me.
Now, what surprised me...
That's one of the most exciting things I've
I don't know if you're going to get this, but what I found is when I wore it, so it starts off with this really amazing dark, resinous, orosy leather, but after a while, it really, really turned into a vetiver fragrance.
Interesting.
After a few hours, it really was vetiver and not the orris, which was the main player. And we were talking earlier about some of the fragrances we bought along the way. We now would think, I never wear this anymore.
Yeah.
And one fragrance that I think we both kind of fell in love with on our journey into perfume was Encre Noire, which is this dark, inky vetiver. And I was somehow reminded of that with this. But this is, if like us, you really admire and appreciate Encre Noire, but think at the end of the day it does smell like a $40
yeah.
It doesn't. This is kind of like a grown-up, more sophisticated, more complex, niche luxury version.
Yeah, I mean, there's far more going on here, isn't there?
I mean, there's more to it than that. It's certainly not. I'm sure she didn't have that in mind, but it was just that inky vetiver quality.
I mean, I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah, it's
so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Really good, isn't it?
And I mean, don't let the darkness thing put you off, because it's like a really wearable, approachable, beautiful darkness. But it's not kind of scary gothic, like "Don't approach me cold." I find it very warm and elegant as well.
But I mean, I do get this, you know, this armoured military kind of campground kind of feel to it. I can see what she was trying to.
Yeah.
This kind of like medieval armour and leather.
Well, do you know what I can imagine, like, smelling if you walked around somewhere like the Imperial War Museum, and you were smelling the fabric of, like, you know, those old stretchers they had made with some sort of heavy canvas.
Yeah.
Or the inside of a tank. I mean, I know it's a different era, but the inside of a tank with all that leather and sort of metallic stuff, kind of unidentifiable, austere, but also at the same time, kind of somehow cozy and inviting and intriguing.
As I said, it definitely goes in a bit of a direction. But even now, I feel there's some just kind of, there are some florals going on in the background a little bit. This isn't a floral fragrance at all, but there's just something which just breaks up what could otherwise be a big, blunt smack in the face of dark richness.
For me, the iris is the thing I'm loving at the moment, especially. It's kind of like iris can be quite chalky, and it's that which I'm really enjoying. It's like a kind of chalky powderiness, but then it's kind of somehow surrounded by this creamy leather. I don't know quite how she's done that.
Well, I think
I normally get one or the other.
I think Oris can.
I think white tobacco or something poking its head out now as well.
But I think Oris can help create this, and I've certainly found in a few of her fragrances that she seems to use Oris to create a kind of leathery accord. But equally, I do understand what you mean, that it's also taken on this irisy quality, which is normally different to the Orisy leather facet.
Which to me it makes it, again, like, I'm always harping on about this, and please feel free to tell me to shut up, but these kind of vintage, like vintage feel, like the Cuir de Russie and all of those, you know, all of those vintage Chanels and things. It doesn't smell like that, but it's got that vintage vibe. It's got that feel that it's a sort of, it's a quality of already existing wonderful materials that are out there. Beautiful iris. I mean, probably some iris that you're not seeing very much in other perfumes.
We're not talking about this because we have spoken about her fragrances before, but you know, the quality is outstanding. It's really excellent. From the moment you spray, you really feel you're immersed in something. You're not getting any kind of harsh top notes which then disappear. You really feel you're in the middle.
You're living straight away
from the first spray.
Like under my skin, the dark side. Things like that. I remember from the samples I had, showing them to friends at work. And someone would spray some on their hand, and they'd walk away. They had to go and have a rehearsal for an hour. Came back to the bar wherever we were, and the trail that they left was enormous. I mean, and even to me, sat at the table, I thought, "Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm loving that." And then suddenly, it's a room-filling thing, without knocking you across the face either, because it's so beautiful.
But what you get with these fragrances,
the DNA is
always complex. They are not just wham bam, thank you ma'am. There is so much to them, and I've said about her fragrances before, they're real perfume lovers' fragrances.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So, from black.
And also we should say that they're really good value. I mean, that's maybe for later on, but
so I think they're 98 euros for 30 ml of extract.
I mean, come off it. That's fantastic.
I mean, maybe if 100 euros for 30 ml maybe sounds a lot, but it is extra, and a little goes.
The quality of what you're getting here is outstanding.
It's outstanding. Next is Lost in Heaven. Right. Shall I go on my skin?
I have no free skin.
Okay. I'm just going to read her little description as well. Okay. Lost in Heaven, a mesmerising potion of honeyed white florals and animalic notes, representing the longing for innocence and purity and the acceptance of our humanity.
So basically, every Saturday morning for me. That is immense.
So I don't know if you can see. When I saw, when I heard, saw the names and read the notes list, I wondered if this is going to be a light and dark kind of twosome, but it's not, because this is enormous. This is really big. You get citruses and white florals.
Yeah. But already the citruses feel kind of weighted and
it's heavy
and smoothed out. This
is a rich fragrance.
God, I need to keep smelling around.
And I think much more so. Actually, I know you said kind of Black Knight. There's a nod to the past. This feels even more so a kind of nod to those luxurious.
There's like a little.
You get cumin as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm getting a little cumin spice at the beginning there, but like I have no problem with cumin. I love cumin. I don't get any of these associations that people make with it of BO and stuff. I just get like human skin.
It's just so rich and opulent. And when we say these that remind us of the past, they don't. If you've seen our videos before, we love Guerlain fragrances and things like that. But unfortunately, if you go into a shop and buy a Guerlain fragrance now, it doesn't smell like it smelt in the 1950s as an X-ray fragrance. And I wonder if something like this is closer to that.
I can't tell if it's like the cumin or whether there's some. I'm guessing it's the cumin more in the top, but there's some civety thing going on somewhere in there.
Yes, I think there probably is. There's a rich kind of animalic kind of undertone. I say from the name I expected maybe something kind of light and floaty and ethereal. Well, this isn't. This is big and rich, and it's got what we've come to expect from her fragrances is that it's raunchy.
So raunchy. I mean that smells like pure sex in your face, on your face, or however.
On my wrist at least.
Yeah, I mean, my God. And also I'm getting some like. I don't know how you do this, Francesca Bianchi, but I'm getting some like fried donut batter or something. But like this, it's a smell I love, and I've smelled it a couple of times in things, but not ever done like that. It's like a sort of like deep fried honey balls with a load of Moroccan spice thrown in. I mean,
it's interesting. I can't say I'm exactly.
Are you getting like a churros kind of thing? Do you not get us like churros or
there is a
like
kind of,
or maybe a bit of curry spice or something in an oil?
There's a sticky sweetness I get, and there's a kind of slight kind of spice of cumin I get. I don't know if I could say it actually smells of churros.
Not churros, not the actual product itself, but the oil.
The oil.
I'm getting a beautiful smell. Maybe it's not the right kind of oil, or like in an Indian restaurant, that the oil that they do the poppadoms in, where the kitchen is surrounded by all of these spices, is one of my favourite smells in the world. It doesn't smell like an Indian restaurant, but it's got that kind of oily, creamy thing going on, but then it's got all these sort of sharp daggers of pepper, cumin.
I know what you sometimes mean. Sometimes
it's sort of popping and
when
fizzing.
You get the feeling of kind of if something has been fried, if desserts have been fried in oil, that feel of almost the oil hanging in the air, that sweet richness in the air,
and infused with all the other things that have been in the oil before. So it sort of it absorbs those flavours.
So
I love that. I really love that a lot.
It's interesting. It feels like maybe she's tried to create something ultra manly and something ultra womanly. What do you think?
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, personally, I would wear either of those any day of the week.
They're so different, really. Aren't they? Are you starting to get a bit of kind of nutty vetiver? It did. I mean, it did. When I wore it, it did take a while to get the vetiver. But I'm
not getting it yet.
Yeah, but I do feel it does turn into a vetiver scent ultimately. But this is.
I'm just getting a roundness to that.
This is so raunchy as well.
Oh, I don't think I've smelled anyone that does this kind of raunchiness as well as Francesca Bianchi.
I've
never had
the thing now.
Like
a few minutes after wearing this for a while, the thing it reminds me a little bit of maybe is Mora by Prin Parfum, which is a great modern chypre of amazing quality that's looking kind of like to the past.
There's nods to it. I
mean, that's different because that's got a little bit more kind of incensey, kind of smoky kind of feel.
And that feels sort of deliberately vintage, whereas this I think is utterly modern. But it does, also I think the thing that I love about it is it doesn't smell like perfume. If someone smelled of that, I would just say, God, that person smells really incredible. I would never say, what are you wearing? You know what I mean? It's like a smell that comes.
It's so good.
But it's a smell that sort of comes from within someone.
Oh, it's really good. It's very, 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 very creamy as well. very creamy. Those white florals. Now, I really feel they've just kind of planed out.
My nose is maybe in a different thing here. I'm getting more and more of this fried thing. Like it's not churros, but I'm getting this like this fried, like oily, bready, peppery cumin thing. I love it. I don't know if there's some immortelle or something buried in there.
Maybe that's. Oh, that's good now.
That's fucking brilliant.
Anyway.
I don't know how to describe it. That's why I'm sort of lost for words. It's just it's planting images in my head of stuff that may be completely unrelated. I'm sorry for that.
But I think these are fragrances
that's what perfume should do.
I don't think she wants them to be simple. I think she wants people to spray them and wear them and live with them and feel them evolve. And that's what's so interesting about fragrances. And as we've said,
it makes your pulse rise, doesn't it? You sort of. You feel like this animalistic aspect of these perfumes.
There must be some immortality. Do you think there's immortality?
I'm getting some curry spice thing going on there. I'm getting like a deep fried poppadom spice of some sort. I don't know what it is.
I don't find it full on curry, but I get
it's not that it smells of curry. It's that it smells of things around curry, like an empty basin that it's just been in with all of these wonderful spices.
Oh, it's good.
But then a hell of a lot of stuff on top of that. My God. Yeah. It smells like someone's special area.
I'm sure you can judge from our reactions that we are big fans of these two. So if you've tried them, let us know what you think. But once again, it's double thumbs.
Yeah, thank you.
Till next time.
Love it.
Happy sniffing.
Bye.